Smart people don't lose money because they lack intelligence. They lose money because money changes how the brain works. Some of the biggest financial failures in history didn't come from fools. They came from doctors, engineers, founders, investors, and highly educated professionals. People smarter than average, people who knew better. They built wealth once and then made decisions that destroyed it. Bad investments, ego-driven risks, toxic relationships, unnecessary complexity. And when it all collapsed, everyone asked the same question. How could someone so smart do something so stupid? Today we're answering that question. This is the psychology behind why money makes smart people stupid, and how the people who stay rich protect themselves from their own minds. Intelligence is often misunderstood. Most people think being smart means making good decisions. It doesn't. Intelligence simply means you can process information faster, see patterns, and explain things convincingly. It does not guarantee wisdom, and it certainly does not protect you from emotional bias. In fact, intelligence often makes bias harder to detect. Smart people are exceptionally good at one dangerous skill: rationalization. When something goes wrong, they don't panic, they explain it. They don't say, "I made a mistake." They say, "and is pride." This is part of the strategy. This will work out long term. I'm seeing something others don't. And when money enters the equation, that ability becomes lethal. Money doesn't just reward outcomes, it rewrites the story of how those outcomes happened. Once you make money, your brain quietly reaches a conclusion. I earned this because I'm smart. And if you believe your success came from intelligence, every future decision feels justified. That's the first trap. Money creates a false signal. It tells you your judgment is superior, even if luck, timing, or external conditions played a massive role. A rising market makes everyone look smart. A lucky break feels like skill. A single win convinces the brain it has cracked the code. But money never tells you why you won. It only tells you that you did. Smart people confuse results with competence. Once that happens, they stop questioning themselves. Questioning yourself is what keeps intelligence sharp. Without it, intelligence turns inward and starts defending bad decisions instead of correcting them. Another problem appears when money removes friction from life. Before money, mistakes are painful. People push back. Reality pushes back. After money, friction disappears. No one challenges your ideas. People agree faster. Doors open easily. Failures are cushioned. Your environment stops correcting you. And correction is essential for intelligence. When everyone around you benefits from your success, they stop telling you the truth. Smart people begin mistaking agreement for accuracy. Confidence grows, self-doubt disappears. Intelligence slowly disconnects from reality. This is how smart people become overconfident, not because they're reckless, but because nothing pushes back anymore. Money also distorts risk perception. Risk is not logical, it's emotional. Losing $10,000 when you're broke hurts deeply. Losing $10,000 when you're wealthy barely registers. Your brain starts rounding numbers. It's only 5%. I can recover. I've handled worse. Fear is a warning system. Money silences it, and when fear disappears, intelligence loses its guardrails. This is why smart people make bigger and bigger bets, not because they don't understand risk, but because risk no longer feels real. They chase excitement, seek stimulation, and escalate, letting stakes rise faster than caution. Then comes status. Money doesn't just buy comfort, it buys identity. Smart people don't just want wealth, they want to be seen as successful, respected, admired. Status changes decision-making. Instead of asking, "Is this the right move?" they ask, "How will this look?" Admitting a mistake becomes costly. Changing direction feels like weakness. Walking away feels like defeat. So they double down. They stay in bad investments too long. They protect failing businesses. They defend poor decisions publicly and privately. Not because they don't see the problem, but because status makes humility expensive. Intelligence becomes a shield for ego. Another hidden danger is complexity. Smart people love complexity. It makes them feel useful. Money gives access to endless options: financial instruments, leverage, advanced strategies, optimization. Instead of doing what works, they chase what's clever. They over-engineer solutions, optimize prematurely, and turn simple systems into fragile ones. Boring decisions feel beneath them. But boring decisions are exactly how wealth survives. The people who stay rich don't win by being clever. They win by being consistent. There's also a subtle identity trap. When smart people succeed, they don't just build wealth, they build a story about themselves. I'm the kind of person who figures things out. I'm different. I see what others miss. That identity becomes fragile. Any evidence that contradicts it feels threatening. So instead of updating beliefs, they defend them. Instead of learning, they justify. The smarter you are, the better you are at protecting a false identity. And money gives that identity resources. This is why many intelligent people fail quietly. They don't implode overnight. They erode slowly. Small bad decisions, ignored warnings, unchallenged assumptions. By the time the collapse is visible, it feels sudden, but it never was. Now let's talk about the people who don't fail. The ones who stay wealthy. They aren't smarter, they aren't more talented, they aren't luckier, they are more suspicious of themselves. They assume their brain will betray them. So they build systems, rules that slow decisions, processes that force second opinions, constraints that limit impulse. They separate ego from outcomes. Being wrong doesn't threaten their identity. Refusing to admit it does. They copy boring winners. They avoid unnecessary risk. They prioritize survival over excitement. They understand something most people don't. The greatest threat to wealth is not stupidity. It's unchecked intelligence with money behind it. If you ever get money or already have some, here's the truth you need to internalize. Intelligence alone will not protect you. In fact, it can be your enemy if left unchecked. The first rule is delay decisions. Speed favors ego. Patience favors wealth. Impulse is a silent killer. Smart people often assume their brain can handle rapid judgment, but money amplifies errors in haste. Every major financial mistake made by intelligent individuals shares one trait: rush choices. Add friction. If a decision feels too easy, it's probably dangerous. Systems, processes, and second opinions are your best defense. The more convenient a choice seems, the more likely it's designed to exploit your confidence. Wealth can make life effortless, but effortless decisions rarely survive scrutiny. Detach identity from results. You are not your wins. You are not your losses. Smart people often tie their self-worth to success. Money intensifies this connection. Losing a bet, a deal, or a market opportunity should never feel like a personal failure. It's simply data. Those who survive long-term learn to separate ego from outcomes. Build guardrails. Rules exist to protect you from yourself. Wealthy people aren't inherently better at spotting opportunities. They're better at controlling impulses, enforcing limits, and staying disciplined. If a system prevents you from making catastrophic mistakes, it doesn't matter how clever or overconfident you feel, you survive. Copy boring winners. The richest people rarely reinvent the wheel. They emulate proven strategies, follow frameworks, and replicate disciplined behavior. Intelligence is wasted when applied to novelty, for novelty's sake. Consistency beats brilliance when it comes to longevity. Money doesn't make people stupid. It reveals hidden weaknesses. It exposes cognitive biases, emotional blind spots, and identity traps. Smart people often fail because they are too capable of justifying themselves. They are too quick to rationalize risks, overestimate their abilities, and protect fragile ego. Wealth is not about being smarter than everyone else. It's about being less arrogant, slower, and painfully aware of your blind spots. Every billionaire who has maintained wealth for decades has one trait in common: humility. They understand that their brain can betray them, and they build systems. The smartest financial move you can make is not to chase the next big win, the flashy investment, or the adrenaline of risk. It's to manage your own psychology. It's to recognize that your intelligence, without discipline, is a tool that can cut against you. So here's the real question: does money corrupt intelligence, or does it simply expose it? You stop trying to outsmart life. You stop believing that intellect alone guarantees survival. You stop thinking that because you are smart, the game will bend to your advantage. Only then can you build a life that intelligence can actually sustain. A life where wealth is preserved, grown, and used to create freedom, security, and impact. Smart people don't stay rich by being smarter. They stay rich by being more disciplined, more cautious, and more aware of themselves than anyone else. Here's the final lesson. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about mastering yourself. Because the hardest opponent you'll ever face isn't the market, your competitors, or the economy. It's your own mind. Smart people who fail do so quietly, step by step. It's rarely a single catastrophic event. It's less ignored warnings, subtle ego-driven decisions, overconfidence reinforced by past wins, emotional responses disguised as logic. By the time others notice, the collapse feels sudden. But for the person experiencing it, it was a slow erosion, an invisible leak in a system they thought was foolproof. The people who don't fail understand this. They know that wealth is fragile, even for the highly intelligent. They build systems to survive themselves. Rules for money. Every large decision is checked, delayed, and reviewed. Processes for accountability. Advisors, mentors, or partners who tell the truth even when it hurts. Constraints for impulsivity. Limits on how much they can risk, spend, or leverage. They accept that their intelligence alone isn't enough. It's their discipline and self-awareness that preserve wealth. They also know the value of boring consistency. Repeated, small, correct actions over decades outperform clever, flashy moves in the long run. Wealth is built by compounding, not by proving brilliance. The smartest people aren't those who make headlines. They're the ones who quietly survive multiple economic cycles, mistakes, and temptations. And here's the subtle truth. Intelligence can be dangerous when combined with money, because it convinces you that the rules don't apply to you, that you are an exception, that humility and patience are optional. But these are exactly the traits that prevent collapse. So if you ever acquire wealth or already have it, remember these key principles. 1. Delay decisions. Speed favors ego. Patience favors wealth. 2. Add friction. Easy choices are often dangerous. 3. Detach identity from outcomes. You are not your wins or losses. 4. Build guardrails. Rules exist to protect you from yourself. 5. Copy boring winners. Consistency beats brilliance. Money doesn't make people stupid. It exposes weaknesses intelligence was already hiding. The more intelligent you are, the more dangerous money can become, unless you manage your psychology carefully. Smart people don't stay rich by being clever. They stay rich by being humble, cautious, and aware. They know their brains can betray them, and they put systems in place to prevent it. So ask yourself, does money corrupt intelligence, or does it simply reveal it? Once you understand this, you stop trying to outsmart the game. You stop betting on your intellect alone. You start building a life that intelligence can actually sustain, one where wealth is preserved, grown, and turned into freedom, security, and impact. The truth is brutal, but empowering. Your brain is your most dangerous asset. Money amplifies it, but awareness, humility, and discipline make it unstoppable. Until next time, take care.